Welcome back. We are continuing our journey through the classic Mosaic Truth series, specifically focusing on Wallace D. Wattles' masterpiece, The Science of Getting Rich.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fourth session in our series, and I have to say, looking at the notes for today, this feels like a massive shift.
Oh, it is. It is a massive shift. In the previous sessions, we laid the groundwork.
Right.
We established the right to be rich, the fact that opportunity is infinite, and the existence of this thinking substance.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, all of that is just potential energy.
Okay.
It's like having a car with a full tank of gas but no driver.
Yeah.
Today, we're opening the door, sitting in the driver's seat, and, well, putting our hands on the wheel.
That's a great way to frame it. We're moving from the external world of, what is possible to the internal mechanics of how to engage it.
Exactly.
We have two major pillars to cover today. One is gratitude, which Wattles presents as the stabilizer, and the other is what he calls thinking in the certain way.
Which is the steering.
Which is the steering, yeah.
And you can't have one without the other. I mean, if you have steering but no stabilizer, you just spin out.
And if you have the stabilizer but no steering...
You just sit there idling. Nothing happens.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts, and we are going to get very specific today, I want to set the stage a little. We're treating this not as some, mystical wishing, but as mental architecture.
I like that term. Mental architecture.
Wattles refers to the human mind as a thinking center that's actually capable of originating thought.
Right. Not just reacting to things.
Yes. So our goal today is to help you move from this vague hoping to specific mental focusing.
It's about the physics of thought, really.
And just a quick note for our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
If this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
Please do.
Okay, let's unpack this concept of gratitude. When I first read this chapter, I'll be honest, I kind of rolled my eyes a little.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Well, because gratitude is such a buzzword now, It feels like something you'd see on a throw pillow or some generic inspirational poster. It feels soft.
Mm.
But Wattles isn't talking about writing a thank you note to your grandma, is he?
No, he is definitely not. And I'm glad you brought up that skepticism, because I think that's where most people get stuck.
Okay.
They view gratitude as a moral virtue or, a polite social convention. Wattles views it as a mechanical necessity.
A mechanical necessity. Say more about that.
Yes. So let's look at the text. He defines the law of gratitude with almost scientific precision. He states, the law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal and in opposite directions.
Okay, that sounds like Newton's third law of motion.
That's exactly what it is. He's applying physics to psychology. Think of it this way. The source of supply, and you can call it the formless substance, the universe, God, whatever works for you. It's an intelligent, creative energy. Wattles argues that when your mind reaches out with genuine gratitude toward that source, that's an action. It's a liberation of force.
So the feeling of gratitude is the action.
Correct. And because physics dictates that action and reaction are equal and opposite, the instant your mind reaches out, there is an instantaneous reaction of movement from the source toward you.
So it isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's more like a magnetic connection.
Precisely. Imagine you're trying to dock a spaceship with a space station. You have to match the velocity and the trajectory perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude is the docking mechanism. It brings your mind into harmony with the creative energies of the universe.
And if you're not grateful, if you're cynical or dissatisfied,
you're essentially severing that docking clamp. You might have a great idea, you might have the best plan in the world, but you've just cut the fuel line.
This connects to something else Wattles talks about, the difference between the competitive mind and the creative mind.
Yes, this is crucial. Absolutely crucial. The competitive mind looks at the world and it sees scarcity.
A limited pie.
Exactly, a limited pie. If I get a slice, that means you get less. And that whole mindset is driven by fear.
Right.
Gratitude is basically impossible in the competitive mind because you're always guarding what you have or, envying what others have.
Yeah. If I'm worried you're going to take my job, I'm not grateful for my job. I'm anxious about my job.
Exactly. Gratitude forces the mind onto what he calls the creative plane. It acknowledges an infinite supply.
Ah.
When you're grateful, you're telling your subconscious, there is more where this came from. And that keeps the mind calm and confident.
So in a way, gratitude is the antidote to scarcity.
It is the only antidote. You cannot be in a state of fear and a state of genuine gratitude at the exact same time. They are mutually exclusive frequencies.
Text overlay. Gratitude aligns attention. Okay, I want to push back on something, though,
Please.
because this leads to a part of the book that I think a lot of modern listeners might find difficult or even, frankly, offensive.
I have a feeling I know which part you mean.
It's the section on dissatisfaction and poverty. Wattles is incredibly stern here. He says, and I'm paraphrasing, the moment you permit your mind to dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you lose ground.
Hmm.
And he goes further, he says we shouldn't fill our minds with images of poverty or the squalid and the mean.
It is a harsh instruction.
No doubt. It sounds privileged, doesn't it? It sounds like he's saying, just ignore the suffering of the world and focus on your own wealth. How do we reconcile that? Are we supposed to just turn a blind eye to reality?
This is probably the most common critique of Wattles, and it requires us to really understand the difference between, say, empathy and identification.
Okay.
Wattles is not saying you shouldn't care. He's talking about the mechanics of the thinking center.
Break that down for me.
He uses this photography analogy. He says your attention is like a camera lens. It fixes the image on the sensitive plate of your mind.
So whatever you focus on gets imprinted.
Yes. If you study the common, the poor, and the squalid, your mind takes the form of these things. You literally imprint poverty onto your own psychology.
You become what you study.
Exactly. If you spend your whole day doom scrolling, reading about economic collapse, complaining about how hard life is, you're essentially printing hard life posters and plastering them all over the walls of your mind.
Text overlay. Dissatisfaction halts progress.
So Wattles argues that you cannot help the poor by filling your own mind with the image of poverty. That's like a doctor trying to feel a sick patient by making themselves sick.
That's a strong analogy. The doctor has to stay healthy to be of any use.
Right. Empathy is understanding the suffering. Identification is jumping into the hole with the person who's suffering.
And Wattles is saying, don't jump in the hole.
Do not jump in the hole. You help the poor by demonstrating that it's possible to get rich. You help the world by transcending the limitations, not by agreeing with them.
So it's about maintaining a vision of the solution rather than a fixation on the problem.
That is perfectly stated. When you dwell on dissatisfaction, you're fixating on the problem. You're telling the universe, this is what reality is. And the universe basically said, okay, here's more of it.
Right.
Gratitude pivots the camera. It focuses on the solution, on the growth, on the potential.
Text overlay. Gratitude connects to power. Let's bring this into the modern context, because we have some science now that Wattles didn't have back in 1910. He calls it the formless substance reacting to thought. We might call it something else today.
Well, we can talk about the reticular activating system or the RAS.
The filter in the brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your brain is bombarded with millions of bits of data every single second. Sights, sounds, sensations. If you processed all of it, you would go insane.
Right.
So the RAS acts as a bouncer at the club of your mind.
Yeah.
It only lets in what you tell it's important.
And how do we tell it what's important?
By what we focus on, by what we attach emotion to. This is the classic red car effect.
Yeah.
You buy a red car and suddenly you see red cars everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone buy a red car overnight?
No, of course not. They were always there. I just wasn't seeing them.
Exactly. They were background noise. Now there's signal. Gratitude is an attention control strategy.
Text overlay. Gratitude filters noise.
When you practice gratitude, and I mean really practice it, not just lip service, you are programming your RAS to scan for assets. You're training your brain to look for opportunities, for resources, for things that are working.
So if I wake up and say, I'm grateful for my health, my brain starts looking for evidence of health.
Yes, and concurrently, if you wake up and say, ugh, I'm so tired, this day is going to suck, your RAS says, you got a boss.
And it starts scanning for annoyances.
Right. It will highlight the traffic, the rude barista, the cold coffee, and you will completely miss the opportunity that walked right past you because your filter was set to problems.
It's like cognitive anchoring.
It is. The world is chaotic. Gratitude stabilizes the signal of your intention against all the noise of daily stress. It anchors you in a state of resourcefulness.
So, okay, we have the stabilizer. We're grateful. Our camera is pointed at abundance, and our RAS is scanning for opportunity. But we still need to drive the car.
We do.
This brings us to the second pillar, thinking in the certain way.
This is where we move from attitude to architecture.
Wattles identifies a huge problem here. He says most people fail because they have vague desires.
Text overlay. Vague desires fail.
He uses this amazing analogy of the wireless message. Can you walk us through that one?
It's brilliant. It's so simple. Imagine you're sending a telegram to a friend. You wouldn't just send a jumble of letters chosen at random from the dictionary and expect your friend to somehow construct the message.
No, you'd send a coherent sentence.
Right. But people do this with their life goals all the time.
All the time. They say things like, I want to be rich, or I want to travel, or I want to be happy.
Mm.
Why are those bad goals? They sound nice.
They are nice, but they aren't instructions.
Yeah.
I want to be rich is just a jumble of letters to the creative intelligence. What does rich even look like? Does it mean $1 million? Does it mean a cabin in the woods? Does it mean owning a tech startup? Does it mean working 3 hours a week or 80?
So without the details, the universe, or even your own subconscious doesn't know what to build.
Exactly. It's like telling a contractor, build me a house, and then just walk it away.
Yeah.
You're going to come back to a pile of wood and some very confused workers.
You need blueprints.
You need blueprints. You need a clear and definite mental picture.
Text overlay. Clarity creates direction.
Wattles uses the sailor analogy. A sailor doesn't just steer somewhere good.
No.
The sailor knows the specific port. They know the latitude and longitude. They don't steer toward the rocks. They steer toward the destination.
So we need to get specific. We need to see the house, the furniture, the details. But
Right.
I have a question here. What if I pick the wrong thing?
What do you mean by that?
Well, what if I visualize this very specific job or this specific house and I get it and I hate it? Or what if I get so locked into one specific picture that I miss a better opportunity? Isn't there a danger in being too rigid?
That is a valid fear. But Wattles would say that the formless substance is intelligent. You're not just manifesting an object, you're manifesting a life.
Hmm.
The specificity is for the sake of focus, not necessarily finality. The picture gets you moving.
So the picture is the compass heading, not necessarily the final unchangeable destination.
In a way, yes. But you have to treat it as the final destination to generate the power to move. And this brings us to the difference between a dreamer and a scientist.
The dreamer versus the scientist, I like this.
The dreamer has the picture. They might have a very clear picture. They sit in their armchair and imagine the castle,
Mm-hmm.
but they treat it as a fantasy. It's an escape from their current reality.
The old, wouldn't it be nice if...
Exactly. Wouldn't it be nice?
Mm.
That is a passive state. The scientist, the person acting in a certain way, holds the picture with 2 extra ingredients: purpose and faith.
Purpose and faith.
Purpose means you're holding the picture with a specific intention to realize it. You aren't just watching the movie, you are making the movie. And faith means you believe it is already being realized. You treat it as a fact that is currently traveling toward you.
I like the analogy of the online order.
Yes. When you order something online, you get a confirmation number. You haven't received the box yet. You can't see the box.
Right.
But you don't worry about it. You don't pace around the house wondering if the box exists. You make space for it. You know it's coming.
So faith is acting like the order has been processed.
Precisely. Faith acts as the bridge between the mental image and the tangible reality. The moment you doubt,
Tells the order.
text overlay, faith is sustained focus. You cancel the order.
Okay, this is all great theory, but I want to ground this. We have listeners who are thinking, okay, I get it, but I have a job I hate, or my relationship is struggling. How do I actually do this?
Right.
Let's go through 3 practical examples. I want to really dive into the before and after of these scenarios.
Let's do it.
Example 1. Work. Let's imagine a listener. We can call her Sarah. Sarah is a mid-level manager. She feels stuck. She thinks her boss is incompetent. She feels underpaid. And every Sunday night, she gets that knot in her stomach.
Ah, the Sunday scaries.
The Sunday scaries.
Okay, so Sarah is currently operating in the competitive mind. She is completely dissatisfied. She's focusing on the squalid and the mean. In this case, her boss's incompetence and her lack of pay.
So what happens if she just keeps doing that?
She imprints stuck onto her psychology. Her RAS is scanning for evidence that her boss is an idiot. Every time he sends an email, she thinks, see? Another typo. He's useless.
She's digging herself deeper into the hole.
She's mentally paralyzed.
Correct.
So how does she apply the science of getting rich? Let's start with gratitude.
Okay, she has to pivot the camera. She doesn't have to pretend to love her boss, but she has to find something genuine to be grateful for. Maybe this job is providing the capital she needs to pay her rent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's learning valuable skills, even if it's just how to manage a difficult personality. So she can say, I am grateful that this paycheck allows me to live, and I am grateful that I'm building resilience here.
Right. And she has to mean it. That's the key.
Yeah.
This stops the bleeding. It moves her from the competitive plane, which is fighting her reality, to the creative plane, which is using her reality.
Okay. And then comes clarity.
She needs a new picture. Not just, I want to quit. That's a negative goal. It's pushing away, not pulling toward.
Got it.
She needs a positive one. She needs to visualize the next step. I see myself leading the design team for the Western region. I see myself confident, respected, doing work I love.
She needs to construct that clear wireless message.
Yes. And she holds that picture while she's at her current job. She does her current work with the purpose of moving toward that picture. Suddenly, she's not a victim of her boss.
She's a traveler.
She's a traveler passing through this station on her way to the next one. The whole energy shifts.
That is powerful. It changes the Sunday night feeling from I have to go back to prison to something like, okay, I'm going to work on my exit strategy. Okay, example 2. Relationships. This is a tough one. Let's say a couple, Mark and Linda. They've been married 10 years, and they're just bickering. Constant low-level conflict. They feel disconnected.
This is where the mental photography concept is huge. If Mark focuses on Linda's flaws, she's always late, she never listens, she's messy, he is studying the inferior.
And reinforcing those traits.
Yes, in his experience of her, he's reinforcing them.
We rehearse arguments in our head, don't we?
Oh, we do. Mark drives home from work and thinks, I bet the house is a mess. I bet she's going to nag me about the trash. He's literally visualizing a fight.
He's sending a coherent sentence of conflict to the universe.
He is. And guess what happens when he walks in the door?
He creates the fight.
Text overlay. Visualization prepaves action. He finds exactly what he's looking for.
So how does he fix it?
Gratitude first. He has to find the value. I am grateful for her loyalty. I am grateful for how she laughs with the kids. I am grateful for the history we have. He has to fill his mind with the best of her, not the worst.
And the clarity?
He needs to visualize the interaction going well before it happens. Before he turns the key in the lock, he should just pause. Take a breath, close his eyes, see a smile, feel a hug, hear a calm conversation.
It sounds so simple, but how often do we actually do that?
Almost never. We run on autopilot. Thinking in the certain way means taking the wheel off autopilot and intentionally steering the interaction toward harmony.
Okay, example 3. Habits. Let's say someone wants to get healthy. They want to lose 20 pounds, but they hate the gym and they love pizza.
A classic scenario. The dissatisfaction trap here is looking in the mirror and hating what you see.
I look gross. I'm so out of shape.
Right, which just imprints out of shape on the mind. You cannot hate your body into a version you love. It doesn't work.
So you have to start with gratitude.
Thank the body for what it can do right now. Thank you, lungs, for breathing. Thank you, legs, for carrying me. You maintain momentum by appreciating the machine you have.
And for clarity, I want to be skinny is a vague desire, isn't it?
It's very vague. It's weak. You need specificity. I see myself running a 5K in under 30 minutes. Or I see myself fitting into these specific jeans again.
And we can add some modern psychology here. Implementation intentions.
Yes. The if-then plan.
Right.
You create a clear trigger action plan. When I pour my morning coffee, I will drink a full glass of water first.
When I finish my last email of the day,
I will put on my running shoes. It is the coherent sentence for action.
it removes the decision fatigue.
Completely. You don't have to decide to be healthy every day. You just follow the script you already wrote for yourself.
I love that. Okay, I want to take a moment right now to actually do this. We talk about it, but let's feel it. We have a gratitude and clarity reset exercise.
Great idea.
I'm just going to walk us through it. Listeners, if you're driving, obviously, keep your eyes open, but maybe just turn off the radio in your head for a second. If you can, sit back.
Let's take a deep breath.
Text overlay. Clarity reduces overwhelm. Step 1. Name what is already working. Just shift from lack to abundance. Pick one thing in your life right now that is an asset.
It could be so simple. The fact that you have electricity, a friend who texted you, the chair holding you up, just one thing, and feel the thanks for it.
Okay, step 2. Choose one clear picture you will hold today. Just for today. Be specific. Not a good day, but a specific, positive outcome.
See yourself crushing that presentation. See yourself cooking a healthy dinner tonight. See your child smiling at you. Just lock that one image in.
Step 3. Speak one coherent sentence that matches that picture. This is your wireless message.
I will finish the report by 2 p.m. with focus. Or, I will be present with my family tonight. Make it a statement of fact.
Open the laptop. Put the phone away. Buy the vegetables on the way home. One small physical movement you can do next.
Open the laptop. Put the phone away. Buy the vegetables on the way home. One small physical movement you can do next.
And finally, step 5. Close with calm gratitude. Just lock it in.
Feel the relief of knowing where you're going. That feeling, that is the feeling of the certain way.
That actually feels different. It feels quiet.
That is the lack of mental noise.
Oh.
When you are clear, the static just disappears.
Now, even with this clarity, people mess it up.
Oh, they do?
Wattles identifies some very specific common mistakes that trip people up. Let's run through these because I think everyone will recognize themselves in at least one of them.
Oh, absolutely. The first one is intermittent gratitude.
Meaning being grateful only when things are going well.
Right. It's easy to be grateful on payday. It's easy to be grateful when you're on vacation. But Wattles says gratitude must be a continuous discipline, especially when things look bad.
That's the real test.
That is the test. If you only trust your GPS when you can clearly see the road ahead, you don't really trust the GPS.
It's a discipline, not a mood. Okay, mistake number 2. The occultist trap.
This is a big one, especially in the modern manifestation community. This is the mistake of trying to project your thought to control other people.
Like, I will visualize my boss giving me a raise, or I will visualize my ex calling me.
Wattles is extremely firm on this. Do not do it. You have no right to apply your will to another person. It's mental coercion. It's trespassing.
So stay in your own lane.
Completely. Focus only on your own vision, your own actions, your own mind. If you want to raise, visualize yourself providing immense value and receiving wealth in return. Don't visualize a specific person handing it to you against their will.
Mistake number 3, the how trap. Getting bogged down in the logistics.
This kills so many dreams. You have a vision, but then your logical brain kicks in and says, but I don't have the degree, or I don't know the right people, or the economy is bad.
You worry about the how before you've even committed to the what.
Exactly. Wattles says your job is the what, the picture, and the now, your current action. The how often reveals itself through established channels of trade and commerce. You don't need to know how the engine works to drive the car.
Mistake number 4, vague wishing. We covered this, but it bears repeating. Sending unformed longings.
If you can't write your goal down in one clear sentence, you haven't thought about it enough. Go back to the drawing board. Get clear first.
And finally, mistake number 5, losing faith in the delay.
This is the hardest one for most people. The unseen is real. You hold the picture, you're doing the work, and nothing happens.
Tuesday passes, Wednesday passes.
And you start to think, it's not working.
And the moment you think it's not working,
They've just sent a new wireless message that says, cancel the order.
text overlay. Faith is sustained focus.
You have to hold the image like the sailor holds the compass, regardless of the fog. Just because you can't see the port doesn't mean it isn't there.
This has been a dense session. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground. I want to recap the key points before we let you go.
Let's bring it all together.
Text overlay. Coherence creates results.
Okay, first, gratitude is not just politeness. It is a mechanical alignment. It connects your mind with the source of supply. Next, dissatisfaction is dangerous. It forces you to fixate on the inferior, which reproduces the inferior in your life. Don't print posters of your problems.
Third, you must move from the competitive mind, which is scarcity and fear, to the creative mind, which is all about abundance and possibility.
And fourth, vague desires do not work. You need a coherent mental sentence. Be specific.
Next, hold your mental picture with the specific purpose to realize it and the faith that it is being realized.
The big one, do not project your will onto others. Control your own mind.
And finally, combine this mental clarity with personal action.
And that is the cliffhanger.
It really is, because we have the picture and we have the gratitude, but we haven't actually moved our feet yet. We haven't talked about how to act in the physical world without burning out.
Right. Most people think acting means grinding. They think it means stress and hustle and forcing things to happen.
But Wattles says there is a way to use the will without strain.
Exactly. In our next session, episode 5, we're going to cover using the will without strain. We're going to explain why trying hard so often fails and how to use the will correctly. Keep the mind at hum, focused on the task at hand, while you move with efficiency.
It's about flow versus force. I really can't wait for that one.
It changes everything.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.